3-day-old, 4-kilogram, full-term baby who is quote-unquote blue all over with a distinct heart murmur. Amazingly, the baby is awake and not in respiratory distress.
All right, you have your scenario. Let's go ahead and get started. Grab your cheat sheets or whatever you're using, but if it's Broslow, red goes to the head and head to the heel. You can clearly see this little baby falls into the zone. Now to Scott for your quick tip.
So whether it's in critical care or in the ER, if you have a couple-day-old baby who's blue, it's respiratory. And if it's not respiratory, it's probably respiratory. And if it's not respiratory, it's probably respiratory. And yes, very appropriately, you have to think about sepsis because especially during the first month of life, if anything funky happens with this kid, it's simply because they're septic. And if they're not septic, it's because they're thinking about becoming septic. But when it comes to babies that are blue, if it's not respiratory or sepsis, after we've ruled out those two, then we start to wonder, does this couple-day-old kid have a funky heart? And when it comes to funky heart disease, it only comes in two flavors, and it's pink or purple. And pink, we're happy because the kid is pink. When they're purple, understandably, we're a little stressed because the kid is purple. And when you look at heart disease, there's really only two types in babies, and that's called mom knows this kid is a heart kid, or mom doesn't know this kid is a heart kid. So if you don't know that this kid has a funky heart, that's whereas we go ahead and go down the is it respiratory, is it sepsis, etc. However, but if you've got a mom who shows up with a couple-month-old kid in the ER and this kid is blue, understandably we think respiratory sepsis just like you would with your littler ones. But if mom says my baby is a heart kid, pay attention to mom. Because mom knows this kid much better than you would ever care to. Therefore, listen to mom. Because Dr. Mom takes care of this kid every day. And Dr. Moms knows what's baseline for this kid. So you can simply ask, Mom, what are your baby's normal SATs? And she's like, the SATs are normally 73. Well, great. I mean, you're still going to be nervous and appropriately so because the SATs are 73. But if mom says the baseline is in the low 70s, you can happily breathe a little bit easier. Number two, just ask Mom, what's his normal skin color? And she's like, oh yeah, he's always this color. Well, again, just take a big breath of relief because mom knows the kid. So if you've got a heart kid and mom knows this kid is a heart kid, simply ask mom. Because 99 times out of 100, what Dr. Mom says is going on is probably indeed correct.